Khabib Nurmagomedov explains why he could never be friends with Jon Jones. Khabib was responding to this clip from Jon last year.
What's your top 5 of all time in UFC?
My top 5, let's see here. I would say, if I'm allowed, I would say myself, Anderson Silva, George St. Pierre, Khabib Nurmagomedov, and Jose Aldo. Those are my favorites, at least. I love what Khabib represents. You know, we've had our differences in the past. I've made some quotes about him, but there's never really been a real beef. You know, I love the way he carries himself as a Muslim. I love the way he represents his country. I love the businessman that he is. He just seems like a stand-up guy. He gives back to others. He's a stand-up guy. He's an admirable man, and I appreciate it.
I'm talking to all you Khabib fans out there. 15 world titles to your guys 4. And you guys are really talking about who's the best fighter ever? You guys are joking, right? 15-4? Are you guys kidding me? The only person that could possibly come back and challenge my record and what I've done in the UFC is possibly George St. Pierre. He would have to come back and win 2 championship fights to tie me. And I'm not even retired yet. I'm 33 years old. I got a whole nother chapter to go through. You guys are nuts. I love you guys so much. I hope you guys all have a great day. 15 world championships to 4. And if all you guys are going with this he's more dominant argument, the guy just recently started fighting elite level competition. Could you imagine me against the number 10th ranked guy?
Khabib said, "I never had any disagreements with Jones. As a fighter, he is great, and it will be hard to match him. But my friend Daniel Cormier is in conflict with him, so Jones can't be my friend. I don't befriend those who aren't friends with my friend." Israel Adesanya says that Francis Ngannou is the greatest heavyweight of all time, after Francis KO'd Renan Ferreria. Izzy said, "Hell no, the debate isn't done. Stipe is the last one I can remember people saying. Well, it was Cain Velasquez first, and then Stipe. And then right now, people still hold Stipe as the greatest of all time in the heavyweight division. But I think he's one of the greatest, and he has beaten Francis. But Francis beat him in the worst way. Again, it's all subjective. It's all art. It's all who you like. I think Francis is the greatest heavyweight of all time. But again, now Jon is in there. He's the heavyweight champion. He's only fought once at heavyweight, but he's also one of, if not the greatest fighter of all time. Tom Aspinall's even in the f***ing mix, and he's only just kind of getting his ball rolling. It's exciting as a fan, but right now in this moment, I'm just so happy for Ngannou and what he has accomplished, and to see him go through it with the adversity that he had to go through with the death of Kobe. Flawless. That was a beautiful performance. He took one leg, dodged a flurry, and eventually timed his right hand, shot for a double, kept him there and knocked him out. Proud, inspired, and just happy to watch him do his thing, because he's gone through so much in his career even still. After the whole boxing thing, people were doubting him, and then he lost to AJ. People went, "Oh, we knew it." It's like people are prisoners of the moment. They forget who this man is, or who people are. They're just prisoners of the moment right now. So I'm glad he reminded everybody why he's the best, why he's the one, why he's Francis Ngannou. Paulo Costa made an appearance on Jake Shields' podcast. Here's the clip where they discuss the altercation they got into with Khamzat Chimaev 2 years ago. Jake claims that Khamzat waited for the cameras to turn on to start talking trash to Paulo.
Wanna fuck now? Did you say you wanna fuck now? Yeah. What? Did you say you wanna fuck now?
You want to fight me?
No, I said, do you said in interview?
I want to fight you. You want to fight me?
I wanna f*** up right now.
Okay.
Yeah, come on,
Let's
come
go.
down.
Come here.
Come on. Why not here, you yeah? You don't when I hear. Come on. Come, I gonna up. Yes. You like when somebody yeah? Israel, brother. Huh? Israel in the ass. You like that? Yeah, I know you like that. You put so
Honestly, it was our first time training, but I came there with you to meet you, and it's like, all right, I gotta back you up. I liked you. I'm like, I'm not gonna let 10 guys try to bully you. But it was kind of fake anyways, because Chimaev waited over there in the corner he waited for the video cameras to come in, and then he runs over and is like, let's fight. And then you're just like, okay, whatever. Yeah. You go after your fight, and he goes, no, let's fight right now. And you're like, I think that's when I walked over and opened the cage. I'm like, all right. And he just stayed outside, pretending like they were holding him back. If he wanted to fight you, he would have ran in.
Yeah,
it was all for show. Yeah,
he's got behind the cage, right? Behind the cage. he didn't get,
Yeah,
get
and
in.
he could have walked in and fought you right
Totally,
away. Instead,
anytime.
he waited for guys to pull him back. They had like
Yeah.
10 of them. I'm like, well, we might get beat up because it's 10 fighters, but I'm not gonna
Exactly.
I'm gonna go down fighting with you though. I'm not a coward, you know. I believe in you go down with your boys.
Exactly. And it was just me and you. And you stood there, you say, yeah, I look to you, I remember, I look to you and say, yes, I think I pretty much know if we need to get in brawl here, Jake will be here, and let's go. Two of them against 10 of the Gourmet Chain team. They will not can handle with us. But from that day that I started to call him Gourmet Chain, because because he didn't nothing, you know, he just wait for his camera crew come. Yeah. Funny story.
Exactly. He was waiting there and then he waited for the camera crew. Then he's like, I'm going to fight you right now. I'm going to fight you right now. It's like, you could have just came in and fought him before the camera crew and the people there to hold him back. I noticed that too. I'm like, that's a little weird.
Jon Jones posted some behind-the-scenes footage of a skit he's currently filming.
Hey, Josh.
How's it going, man? Yeah, your wife called in. It's your neck again. Let's see what we got here.
Here we go. This is the take for real. And action, Jon Jones.
Jon Bones Jones here. Professional.
That's a cut.
After defeating Larissa Pacheco, Cris Cyborg says she plans to defend her PFL title and then have a kid. Cyborg told MMA Junkie it took a long time to fight. My last time I fought 1 year ago. I wanted to fight more times for me to defend my title, but I want to complete 20 years in my career. This year is 19, and I want to go to my next chapter of my life and have a kid. Next plan, I'd like to defend my title as soon as possible. Everyone is really hard for me, but this one was nice because I'm 39 years old, 39 and fighting for the title. For me, it means a lot. I think this is special for me to be the PFL champion with a PFL belt. Jorge Masvidal's coach Mike Brown says that Jorge is in great shape ahead of his UFC return. Jorge is not booked just yet, however he said he wants to fight in 2025. Speaking to MMA Junkie, Brown said I was actually surprised when Jorge came back into the gym how good of shape he was in. He was actually in really good shape, and he had obviously been training, and I'm talking wrestling shape. He was jumping right in and wrestling with the best guys. He didn't get out of shape. He's focused and he's ready. He has that itch and he wants to do it again. He's obviously a big star. There's a lot of matchups that I'm sure people want to see. There's a lot of fights I would like to see. I'd like to see him in a more exciting, like a BMF type fight. Nothing like a title contender fight. I don't know, like a Justin Gaethje type of guy. I always liked the Diaz brothers, that would be great. Nate for a third time, whatever, you know. There's 20 fights that would probably excite me with Jorge. He's exciting, man. He's always fun to watch. He's the man. Daniel Cormier reacts to Francis Ngannou's KO win over Renan Ferreria. DC says prior to the fight he was worried for Francis because DC himself also lost a child. DC says that he knows the emotional toll it takes on a person.
And if I'm being completely honest, I was worried. I was very worried when I watched these two come into contact. I was very worried when I saw those guys actually face off, when it seemed to get tense. I was worried. I was very worried because I know the emotional toll it takes on you when you are dealing with losing something like Francis lost. I know the toll it takes. Francis and I are friends. We spoke after this horrible tragedy. Francis spoke publicly about knowing whether or not he should come back and compete. Francis did this with a very heavy heart, but he also recognized, and he said it in his post-fight interview, he does this now for his son. So if Francis Ngannou wasn't scary enough, right? If Francis Ngannou wasn't terrifying enough as the baddest man on the planet, imagine him now with those motivations. With the motivations of carrying that extra, I've got to do this for this. Imagine how scary he is now. Those guys, Eric Nixick, Dewey Cooper, Francis Ngannou, I love watching them because it's not only a great coaching staff, training a great athlete, but they're family. You could watch in the emotion that these guys showed after the fight. You watch Eric, he's crying, hugging Francis. Dewey's filming as he does after every fight, but he's crying the whole time. Those guys have done so much together. To watch them have that success, through all the turmoil and the chaos and the emotions, it's great. I remember watching him in the boxing ring, watching those guys, and it felt like it was us. We had all made it. MMA had all made it. Francis had crossed over into the biggest fights in boxing. Tonight it felt like I watched that same family come back home to mixed martial arts and accomplish something great through a hurricane of emotions and just the most, I don't think there's a situation that we can compare it to. But to watch him overcome like that was amazing for me. And as a friend of Francis Ngannou, as a fan of Francis Ngannou, it was awesome.
Belal Muhammad reveals why he's confident that he will be able to beat Shavkat Rakhmonov. The two are set to fight at UFC 310 on December 7th. Speaking to MMA Junkie, Belal said he's mentally tough, he's mentally strong, and if it comes down to grit for grit, he's going to beat a lot of these guys based off of his toughness and his will to win. Now you're going against someone with a stronger will. Now you're going against someone that's tougher. Now you're going against someone that won't back down, won't fold. So now, it's how he's going to react now. And I don't think that he's really had to face the type of adversity in the UFC yet. He really hasn't. He's always been in the lead. Now he's going to be falling behind. Now you're going to be getting to the later rounds. Now when it starts getting tougher and you can't breathe and you're getting tired and this is not working and that's not working, how do you make your adjustments? Conor McGregor called out Ilia Topuria for copying him. Conor reposted this video to his Instagram story with a laughing, crying emoji.
I don't want. You say send location. Here he is, right here in front of you.
I'm here, right in front of
Do something about it.
you. Son.
Francis Ngannou has responded to Jon Jones. After Francis defeated Renan Ferreria, Jon posted this to X. He wrote, "What an amazing job Francis did tonight. Displayed a complete MMA game. Great kicks, great takedowns. It feels good to see him shine. Congratulations, champ. I see you." Speaking to Ariel Helwani today, Francis responded saying, "I saw his tweet. Yeah, well, whatever he means, I think he's class. He say it in a very nice way. I see him too. I'll be watching him on November 16th. And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from MMA for Life. Says, "I think the MMA community is collectively happy for Francis." The second one's from Will Walking W. It says, "Francis' story is legendary." And the final one's from Work Life 316. It's in reference to the back and forth between Brendan Schaub and Nate Diaz, with Brendan saying he would snap Nate's neck. It says if Brendan really wanted to torture Nate, he would make him watch his quote-unquote comedy special. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.